Thanks so much for your time. I am Pius Kojobaka. A look now at our stories. Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiema, says the country has made significant progress in restoring macro stability with clear evidence of recovery across key indicators. Speaking at the CDR 60 celebrations here in Accra, Dr. Isiema said the economy has, quote, turned a decisive corner, end of quote, backed by compelling evidence of progress. He revealed that headline inflation continues to decline and is expected to end this year even lower, reflecting the effectiveness of the Bank of Ghana's monetary policy measures.
From the lingering effects of the global pandemic through economic crisis, debt exchange, and tightening global financial conditions, our economic fabric was tested and tested well. But few countries experience it as acutely as we did in Ghana. So cast your minds back. In November 2022, the cedi depreciated by over 50%, becoming the world's worst performing currency, according to Bloomberg. And headline inflation spiraled to over 54%, and food inflation soared to an alarming 59.7% year on year. This was as of December 2022. This distorted household budgets, it shrunk incomes, and fed public anxiety across the country. So these were not just numbers, as I'm giving, they were experiences that we lived, we felt. They meant rising transport fares, shrinking working capital, unaffordable school meals, and sleepless nights for small business owners and salary earners alike. But they were not the end of our story. Under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Her Excellency the Vice President, and through coordinated, difficult, but necessary policy actions, I'm happy to say that Ghana has turned a decisive corner.
Well, on the back of that, economist Professor Peter Quartey is cautioning government against pursuing rapid reductions in inflation at the expense of economic growth and job creation. Speaking at the launch of the State of the Ghanaian Economy report in Accra, Professor Quartey noted that while lowering inflation is important for macroeconomic stability, an overly aggressive approach could stifle business activity and slow down recovery efforts. His comment follows remarks by the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiema, who says that inflation is expected to decline further in the coming months.
Speaking at the launch of the State of the Ghanaian Economy report, Professor Quartey acknowledged the government and the central bank's progress in stabilizing prices, but emphasized the need for a coordinated fiscal and monetary approach that supports productive sectors of the economy.
I think this issue came out yesterday at the launch of the CDR 60. The governor said, we've seen inflation reducing and we're going to see it reduce further by the end of the year. I was a bit concerned because, one, I would have loved to know the optimal rate of inflation. Because some level of inflation is good. As you hit hard on inflation, you are going to hurt growth because you are not spending. I would love to see deficits, reasonable deficit levels, reasonable rates of inflation, some stability in the exchange rate, but not at the expense of growth, not at the expense of jobs.
Director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, Professor Robert Dakwon, commended government for its effort in ensuring fiscal consolidation and restoring stability to the Ghanaian economy.
But I think the key thing is that given how we have performed from the year to date, I think it's fair to say that we seem to be on track in terms of meeting our fiscal targets. Okay, so fiscal consolidation is on track. And again, for 2024, we started the year thinking about the fact that it's an election year, and therefore in election year we tend to be a bit loose in terms of our fiscals, and that has implications for monetary policy as well.
The State of the Ghanaian Economy Report, an annual publication by ISE, provides comprehensive analysis of key economic indicators, policy development, and sectoral performance. This year's report highlights Ghana's steady progress in restoring macroeconomic stability while underscoring the challenges of sustaining inclusive growth amid global and domestic pressures.
President of the Association of Ghana Industries, Humphrey Enyimdake, has urged government to support local enterprises through procurement to reduce Ghana's dependence on imports. Speaking at the 14th Ghana Economic Forum 2025, he noted that the country's import reliance is hurting foreign exchange reserves and called for stronger investment in local industry.
Why won't government with its procurement power deliberately create such enterprises so that they could go to the stock exchange and raise cheap capital and invest into such enterprises? Unfortunately, once that is not being implemented, all that is happening is imported. That's why we are largely importing country, and it's affecting the forex. And therefore, when you're looking for enterprises to put in their money, are all agents, distributors, mixing companies, and you are not finding them. We need to be deliberate about creating enterprises and industry. So it's a big challenge. So the reset agenda must go beyond just the financial sector and total overhaul of government procurement. That's why we're excited to see the amendment in the PPA, the Public Procurement Act, to make one of the conditions is the margins of preference. They need to enforce it. So we have a pretty complex market with high tax-related issues.
You're still watching Business Live. We have more for you shortly. Kwanwoma Bank PLC has announced a 100% increase in its share price, raising it from 50 pesos to 1 cedi. The current price will be maintained by existing shareholders over the next 8 months. At the 42nd annual general meeting, the bank announced a 40% return on investment for shareholders for the year 2024. Naya Ojima has more in this report.
According to the bank, the increase reflects the value it has created over the years. Despite the 100% hike, management believes the intrinsic value of the shares exceed the new pricing. With this increase, the bank expects improved liquidity from share sales, which will positively impact operations. Chief Executive Officer Samuel Bonsu-Sechere emphasized that the new pricing was determined with their target market in mind.
Yes, we have worked with this current share price for a while now, and all our financial indicators have increased tremendously, and the value of the bank has grown over the years, and we believe that it should reflect in the price of our shares. Given the industry in which we are in, we needed to look at the general environment before fixing an increase in the price. But if it were not for our industry, the value would have been far higher than what we are proposing now. But we are looking at increasing it from the current 50 pesos to 1 cedi per share to give value to existing shareholders.
At the 42nd annual general meeting, the bank reported a profit before tax of 54.4 million cedis in 2024, up from 24.7 million cedis in 2023, representing a growth of 120.32%. The board and shareholders have agreed to payment of a 40% return on investment, representing 0.20 cedis per share.
The bank has indicators that have been set out by the Bank of Ghana, and we have indications that in the very near future, the Bank of Ghana is going to increase the required stated capital for rural banks. And so we are putting ourselves in preparedness for this increase. And that is why we are proposing the increase in the share price in order to mobilize more to support the operations of the bank.
For Joy News, Nana Atwima Pechi.
Guinness Ghana Breweries PLC has posted outstanding financials for the year ended 30th June 2025. Despite the economic volatility the downturn experienced in the year under review, the company recorded profit after tax of 334 million cedis, underscoring Guinness Ghana's resilience as they delivered their best performance in the company's 65-year history. Here's more from the 53rd Annual General Meeting.
Under review, revenue grew by 52% to 3.5 billion cedis. Operating profit also surged by a whopping 448%, with profit after tax closing at 334 million cedis. Management says this is the best performance in the company's 65-year history. Speaking to Joy Business, board chair of Guinness Ghana, Felix Addo, attributed the company's impressive results to strong cost controls and macroeconomic stability.
Cost improvements is a key factor. I'd like to also say that managing the financing element, as you know, we do get some inputs abroad. Very little, but still significant. And because of the strengthening of the cedi, our financing cost went down somewhat. We also took price. In some of our products like Guinness, we had to occasionally or continuously mark up the price. So we did get some price increases also. But at the end of the day, good strategic management, hard efforts by our team, the staff team, in terms of cost efficiencies, all aided.
At the 53rd AGM, the board proposed a dividend of 10 pesos per share, amounting to a total payout of 30.1 million cedis, up from 6.7 million cedis in the previous year. Mr. Addo explained that the company is poised to increase shareholders' value in the coming years.
Some of the profits we make will definitely be deployed into trying to get additional capacity, investment in lines, canning lines, and the like, so that we can serve and improve what we do now. And so, yes, going forward, we expect to see expansion, hire more people, get more efficient, and then improve generally the lot of the Ghanaian shareholder and the Ghanaian consumer of our products. We're excited about the future. I hope you are too.
The strong financial performance of Guinness Ghana Breweries reflects a story of resilience and innovative strategic execution. The board and management are optimistic that the addition of the Castell Group will further boost operations and enable the beverage manufacturer to expand into new markets.
That's all for Business Live for today. I am Pius Kujobaka. We have more for you when you log on to myjoyonline.com/business. See you at 8 p.m. with Prime Business.